Hey, welcome back everybody, it's Shido. And we are back in the Edo World of Vintage Story. Hope you're doing well, I'm doing good. So back still here in the Nachi Valley. This is the area where we're going to be setting up our wonderful little village. So we've got the waterfall backdrops that are going to be setting up over here. And I have been doing just a little bit more work along this waterfront here. You'll see that I have chiseled out some granite pavers that we can put down through here, and they'll kind of mark the walkway paths. I think that works pretty good. Dropping in K-Pock logs just as kind of border edges, and then you'll see here we've got our wooden walkway going out across the edge of the water leading over to our other bridge. So this is all coming along pretty good. I think it's all tying together quite well. Did start working on the second layer up here, and you'll see the only thing I've done so far is created a little area and planted some bamboo. But I have been doing a little bit of chisel work to give me some places to sit along the edge here. So a lot of work being done here. But when I was kind of working in this area, I found something pretty interesting. Every town has, an agricultural area nearby it. And I thought to myself, this would make a great agricultural area. Talked about putting gardens in back over there, but that is more of a walking garden, whereas this area I think we're going to turn into actual fields, terraced fields. So we're going to have to start doing a lot of terraformation in this area, which means a lot of this is going to have to be dug out and replaced. So yeah, and this leads over to a beautiful little lake back over on this side over here that we're going to have to make a road that connects to it. So lots to be done here. We'll pop up here and get a look at the lake. Oh yeah, see that? So lots to do here. This is going to be fun. Okay, so let me get some stuff gathered up and I'm going to start doing some terraforming and then I'll be back. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to figure out which way am I going to use to be getting back over in this area. We're going to have to put a roadway that's going to go through, and so we're going to have to kind of work around with some of this terrain to kind of figure that out. Now, I know that I'm going to be building this area is going to be elevated up. So this area is all going to get filled in right through here. So it almost seems like maybe having the walkway maybe in this area come back and have this be the walkway going back over towards that area. Let's take a look and see what... I think we've got a cave over here. I think we might have to fill in. Now that looks okay. Move it right along this area here. Yeah, I think this will work. That's what we're going to do. We're going to use kind of this natural area right here as our walkway. And we'll bring it back in through this. There's a cave right there. Yep, I think right through here is going to work out pretty good. So that's what I want to kind of set that up as. So we're going to we're not going to dig all this out, but we want to make sure. Actually, do we want to go through? Yeah, no, this will be the area here. Yeah, that'll work. So we're going to end up bringing a staircase up through here and turning this into a road that's going to kind of head off this direction. And then that will then take us back through. Yeah, so we'll just be able to fill this in just a little bit to get that up. Okay, so now that we know kind of that's, how we're going to set that one up. Do I have a shears? So now that we kind of have that figured out, this will come along. This will be part of the main road that's going to come in this way, which means now our fields, we want to start setting up probably on this side. Probably take this hill out here and we'll do some more fields along this side. Okay, I think that'll work. All right, so let me get to doing a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of take the land down along here and then deposit it over in the lower areas until I kind of build it up the way I want. Okay, so let me keep working on this and I'll be back. Okay, so this is what I've come up with so far. So the idea is I want the land, there was a big lake there, a little pond that was here, and I went ahead and filled that in. We're going to have to get all that clay out. That goes without saying. But this area right here is going to be where the the field is going to be at, down inside this area right here. So I got to bring all of this up, and I'm contouring is what I'm doing right now. So I want this to be one paddock here. We're going to put in a second paddock up at this level here. So that means that this entire hill is going to have to kind of down anyways, which we want to kind of do so that we can kind of see back in there. Because remember, our temple is going to be setting right there. We've got the big waterfall that's going to be, we're going to be working on accenting that waterfall a lot better. So yeah, we want to be able to see kind of as we're down in this area, we want to be able to look back in through there to see that. That's what I'm working on right now. So what I got to do now is with this contour done, I need to go ahead and kind of contour a little bit more out this area, just to kind of make my hills look good, and then get all this filled back in, which I'm gonna have to get a lot more dirt for that. So let me sleep through the night, and I'll come back and work on this some more. And there's a panda. So I had a panda earlier spawn over in this area, and it raised the question because the panda was kind of coming after me, and somebody said, well, aren't pandas passive? And I said, I think they are until they're agitated, right? So let's see, is Panda gonna kill me? Doesn't seem to be overly interested in me. So that's good. Cool. Okay. I definitely wanted to have a panda, but I was building the putting in the bamboo garden over there, and the panda started coming right at me, and maybe it was because of the bamboo shoots. Maybe that's why the panda was attracted to me. I don't know. How do I usually plan out terrain? So let's take a look at what we need to accomplish here. You can see in this area, we're going to be able to continue building in this area, but we don't want to leave it, that high. So we want this to be a little more gradual. So usually the first thing I do is I kind of figure out about how far I want the next layer to come out. And so, for example, here, I probably want this next layer to come out to about there. Then I'll just bring everything else in up to this area right here. This will probably be the ground level here, and this will be the ground level at that side. So that's on this area. Now, over on this side, because we have this kind of aggressive hill here that I'm going to be taking out, we can kind of elongate how we want this to go. So really, on this side, we're going to have to get all this out anyways, but probably to about like right there. Then this will all be filled in just to a single layer. Does that make sense? That's how I usually start it, is I want to find out kind of, where I want it to go. And now it's a matter of playing connect the dots between the terrain that's already here and kind of that focal point right there. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to kind of move it in about like that, and probably show it about, probably about like that. These are things that I am repurposing in other areas for sure. So we're going to take those out, but what we'll do now is I'll take, and remembering kind of some of the rules that I've mentioned before that I apply. One, don't ever try to go, a straight line of 5 or more whenever I'm connecting or making terrain. It just looks too unnatural. For example, here I'm going to come in and probably go 1, 2, and I'm going to want this to probably to bounce maybe just a little bit out more this way. And then probably something like that. That's how I want that hill to kind of shape. So this will be the outside edge of the hill coming around this side. And then we're going to connect the dots over here. So you see I've got 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to put a fourth one there. And I'll come in and step it back like that. Same thing on this side. I've got no run going. So I'll do here, here. Probably bring it up 1 like that. Go ahead and take it back and then pop it up. And there. And step back in and kind of review my work from different angles. So that's the contour edge of the, that's going to work pretty good. So that's the contour edge of this kind of valley. So when I get done, you're going to have a gentle slope going up and up and up as you go up. And then we're going to have these as paddocks, meaning we're going to have fields planted in these and then up on the top as well. So I need lots of dirt, but I got to lower lots of areas anyway. So let's take a look at what we need to lower. For example, I think probably this hill that we have right here is going to have to be changed anyways. We're going to be doing a lot of modification to it. So I started knocking it back. So I can continue to take this one down to this level right here, all the way across. And that will just create the backdrop of the hill. So the hill will just continue out over the top of this, coming from this lower level here. See, this area right here will just be all one level. And then we'll take all this dirt that we have, we'll be able to repurpose it down low into that area there. Now, in this situation, if I don't have a lot of dirt, which that's not the case, but if I ever got in a situation where I didn't have a lot of dirt, then I'd just be dropping slabs down underneath there to make it spawn proof and then building a shell over the top of it, which I may do just to kind of show in one area, but I don't think it's going to be necessary as we continue to knock back this area here, because we want this to be kind of a more of a, we don't want it to go step back up at this point. So as we come and knock this one down, we'll be able to take this and put it in, and then we're going to take it down one more layer, probably right in this area, just so that we have another step as we go down towards this little water. This water feature is going to stay. I've already kind of committed I'm going to do that. So let me keep working on this, and I'll come back when I made some more progress. All right, let's take a look at the progress we've made. So I've got the first kind of layer done up to here. And so now we're getting ready to start on this second layer. And what I'm going to do is I'll demonstrate, basically you can take your stones. I know this isn't anything new to anybody, but just to kind of show for anybody who's watched it hasn't done this before, you can replace these stones back down. And that basically creates an area that they cannot spawn in, that mobs can't spawn in anymore. So we can go in and instead of slabbing an area, this is much more effective use of resources, especially if you're doing a lot of building with stones and things like that. You don't want to use up all of it, but everybody who's playing, you know, you end up with an overabundance of the stones. And so this makes a good use for them. So, but you do have to put it down in every single spot. Now, I'm not going to do this in this area because I've got a lot of dirt. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this all in with the dirt I've got. But just wanted to kind of show that. So I like it. This is a nice gentle slope as we come down towards this little watery area here. And I know there's a lot of people asking, well, you know, how are you going to keep animals out of your crops, the rabbits and such? And I'm not going to. We're actually going to plant and create an area that looks like crops, remember, but this is not going to be our food production area. This is going to be something that we're going to be planting here that's going to be for visual only, so not too worried about making it very effective for the animals, or trying to make it so the animals can't get into it. Okay? All right, let me keep working on this. I'm going to have to go gather up some more dirt and get some more from back at my base, and then I'll be back to finish this off. I think I've got this all filled in the way I want it. So you can see we're stepping down as we come across. This is going to be the pathway that's going to lead over here. So I've gone ahead and leveled everything out. There's a cave that's right here, and all I've done is just kind of closed over it for now, just so nothing walks in on me. But I've got a walkway coming all the way through here. I just need to work out exactly what the material is going to be coming through there, but I think that's going to work. Like I said, this is going to be leading over to an agricultural area, and it's not going to be an area that we're going to be actively farming in. It's going to be an area that's going to look like farming's taking place as we come over here. So one of the things we're going to have to work out is what are we going to plant over here? And one of the things I thought about doing just to kind of give it the look of is what if we were to come in and take out alternating rows of water, and then we could put the ferns up on the top on either side of it, to kind of give it a look of something that's growing in there. Let's get down here and take a look. We may be so used to the ferns that it doesn't give us the right appearance. Let's hop up on top of a hill and look. Yeah, I could see that working. I could see that working. We're getting tons and tons of ferns from down in this area. So I think that's something that we could probably do. Something else that we can do is we can put some crops up here. For example, I know there's a lot of rice that's growing in this area, so putting some rice up in here would not be that bad of an idea. We just have to kind of create an area to keep the rabbits from coming up, and that can be as easy as putting a chiseled edge along here that's maybe 2 blocks high, or not 2 blocks, but 2 pixels high, just so that they can't get up there into it. So that's a possibility as well. Let's take a look going, like I said, this is going to be the walkway coming in. I've knocked down the big hill that was here. Still got to go in and do some more filling in, just kind of redepositing the soil from one spot to another, just to kind of make it a little less aggressive in the landscaping here. But we need to do some more work in this area, and then are able to get this area knocked back as well. So now we have a more gentle approach going down to the water. So I've cleared all this back here just a little bit. So now we'll have a spot along the edge of the water here, which I think we'll be able to do some pretty amazing stuff with as well. This area over here is going to be pretty simple, and I'm going to go ahead and do it next. We're just going to knock the top of this hill down just a little bit, probably just this one layer, and then we're going to redeposit it just over here to the side. So we don't want to make it, too aggressive over in this area, but, we've got this kind of like deeper area here that just doesn't make any sense for us. So we're going to take that soil that we just collected and just put it right back down in this area. And then probably the same thing from this area right here. Just knock this back just a little bit. And we'll continue to fill in. But what we'll end up with by doing this, like I said, here's another kind of little hill here. And where I see these little ones, every time I see a little one single block sticking up in the air, I've been coming through and knocking it down because I just don't like those. Little spots like this, just knock them back. And then I've just been taking that dirt and redepositing it like that. And just filling these little low spots. Okay, let me keep doing a little bit more work in this area. I'm going to try to get this one here done as well. Kind of get it ready. We're not going to start any plantings yet. The next thing we're going to do is probably start laying out buildings. So that way we can kind of start fitting everything in and around where the buildings are going to go. Okay, so let me do a little bit more work here and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's take a few minutes. We're going to talk about building placements. As I identified, we're going to put a large temple over here. And that is going to closely resemble what is already at Nachi Fall. But we're going to go ahead and put that temple in right here. And so I went ahead and laid 4 pieces of cobblestone down here just to kind of identify where the outline of the building foundation is going to be at. Maybe not the building itself, but at least the foundation of that building. Over on this side, I've done the same thing over here with 2 buildings that we're going to look at putting in over in this area. And these are nondescript buildings, meaning that I don't have something chosen for them yet. But they're going to be in very close proximity to each other with a very narrow gap between them. And they'll be slightly offset to work around the contour of the land here. So this one will set out in front. This one will set just a little bit farther back. Okay, so that's those 2 buildings. And I have not designed on a style yet for those, but pretty soon we will. Again, we said we're going to have a walkway that's going to be kind of meandering its way down through here. And we're going to end up having a garden area up here. This is going to be... Whoa! Bye, bear. Let's get someplace safe. And then we'll turn around and see if that bear's coming after us. Is he? Nope, still sitting up there. I think that was a sun bear. It's up here. Super. So we got a panda bear and a sun bear now. But we're going to set up a building right up there where that bear's at. And that's going to end up being kind of the entryway into a garden area that's going to be back there. So let me sleep through this night. Back to what we're talking about. And then for this area over here, we want to put in another building here in this area. This is all going to have to be filled in here. I want to knock out, I believe, I'm trying to decide if I want to knock out that spire right there or if I want to take this spire over here out. So that's kind of the next step I got to figure out is I want to put in a large manor area with a central garden in it. And that's going to go in like right in this area. But I don't know if I want to move it. There is like a cave that's right there that I have to contend with as well. But this area up here probably doesn't need to be here, so it's probably going to end up being this way, this area. But if we look at it from here, I'm going to leave that spire right there in place. We're going to change the shape of it slightly. It looks like there's more Terra Preta there. We're going to change the shape of it slightly in that I want to make it, in a lot of the Japanese gardens, you'll see usually a mountain that will set in the middle of the garden. And that's where they've raised up the land abruptly to make it look like a mountain, even though it's maybe 8 feet tall. But that's what I want that to be when we put in a garden space there. So question is, do I knock out that area right there and deal with that, or do I knock this whole area here down and then work with it here? So give me your ideas in the comments. Let me know which one you think is better. You can just answer and say, from looking from here, the one on the left or the one on the right. That'll do for me. So that's what it looks like is probably going to be working on here pretty quick. I think between episodes, I'm going to start working on the foundation of where the temple's going to go and start building that area up. And I think the other thing I'm going to start working on is probably the rest of that waterfall over, or not the waterfall, but the rest of the stream over here. I've got most of it dug out. We'll run over there and take a look at it. I just ran by it, but we really didn't really say anything about it. So as you can see, I've got most of it dug out, and I've been taking and transplanting a lot of the muddy gravel that I've been getting and been transferring it over here. So close to connecting these two together and having this area as part of the natural stream itself. So that should be done by the time we come back on the next episode. All right, hey, I think that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for spending time with me. This is Shino. Really looking forward to how the rest is going to be taking shape. I know I've been doing a lot of stuff with terraforming in the last, in the first 2 episodes of this. We are going to get into some building here pretty quick. So if you've got some ideas, some structures that can go in here, some design styles, go ahead and send them to me. You can come and visit me on my Discord channel. The link is in the description of this video and pretty much in all my videos. So thanks for spending time with me. We'll see you next time. Take care.